All right. Okay, so on the live shows, the reason, if you guys fill out the Poshmark application, you guys are on the waiting list. Janine, okay. If you guys are on the waiting list and you guys filled it out, and when you put the live, it asked, have you ever been live or not? If you automatically click no, it's automatically gonna deny you. Automatically. They don't want, for some reason, they don't want non-experienced, I think because they think if you've never done a live show and now you do a live show, you will be able to, you won't do anything, so they don't have to come in your show and watch. I think that's the main reason why they're doing that particular thing. So if you click no, you've never done a live show, you automatically get denied. And the only reason why we know that is because we had somebody, when the applications were up, that actually put the answer no, and they automatically were denied right when we sat there and we said, okay, you know what, have you ever done a yard sale? Have you ever done Instagram live? Have you ever done Whatnot live? Have you ever done a craft show? Have you ever done anything where you've had to sell to the person in face to face? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, okay, then put it as yes, you've done a live show, because it's basically the same thing except for the fact it's a camera and you have to read everybody's comments. Some people have gotten really, really into it, and then some people have a harder time trying to get into it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, now it's harder than anything to, one, get people in your shows, and two, to be different than everybody else, because there are so many shows going on. So don't get discouraged, which I know a lot of people do get discouraged when they don't make any sales. Tag some people. Yes, be careful of people that you do tag, because some people don't like it. But if you know the person is looking for this particular item, and you know the person, and you know that they're not going to have any kind of conniption, go ahead and tag them and let them in. I have no issue with it. Renee, I know, has no issue with it. CB doesn't. Just be like, hey, if I'm in a show and I see some cool stuff you guys would like, are you cool with me tagging you in? If you want to make sure you cover your butt. That's like the self-disclaimer on that. The other thing is, if you are on the waiting list and you're like, okay, I've never done any live sales, but I said I did, you can go apply at Whatnot and you can do live sales over there. You can jump on your Instagram and do a live sale over there. You can also open up a YouTube channel and do live sales over there. You could go on Facebook and do live selling over there. So that's where everybody is live selling at, in all those places. There's also another one called Pop Shop Live, and they're kind of like Whatnot, and they're like they're like Whatnot, and they're like Poshmark. Now, those three, the reason why they're different than Facebook and Instagram is when you go on live on Facebook and Instagram, it's literally like you're doing a live show, kind of like you would on Poshmark. And what if you applied and they said no, can you reapply? Yes, you can reapply. Yes, you definitely can reapply. Even if you said no, just change it to yes, because someone did that. We told them that, and they reapplied with it. What was it, Renee? Like within 2 seconds after the denial, and then they got approved. I mean, they were on the waiting list. Do you remember? Okay. It was, I know it was like in that same thing, because me and Renee are like, just say you did. Like, just do it. And because we wanted to see what happened. We're like, let us see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? If you do Instagram and you do YouTube and you do Facebook, you are not going to have the system where when you sell things, it automatically lets you know the person, it's already paid for. It's a much more complicated system. So the way you would do it is like you would grab this and go, okay, I'm going to sell these. Do I have any starts? And in the chat, you're watching for the chat and you have a starting bid. You say, I want to start them at, say, $3. So you watch the chat and you watch the people do the bid, and they'll say $3, $4, and then they'll go, and you set up your rules in Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook on how you want your show to go. Now, here's the bad part. You have to keep track on another sheet of paper, all the names, how much they paid, and everything, and have it so you can then message them and say, okay, I need your PayPal, your Venmo, or your Cash App, and that's how you get paid. So then you have to keep track of it, and then you invoice them in one of theirs, and then you wait for them to pay for the item, and then you ship it out. Okay. So it's a little bit more work on your end, but it's a great way to start building up your clientele and your followers and everything, because if they like you and they like what you're selling, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Whatnot, if you're on Poshmark, they're going to follow. They're going to follow you to wherever you're going, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be on that show. So then when you do get approved for Poshmark, you've already had those ones. Now, Whatnot, Renee tried applying for Whatnot and she couldn't get through. Kat applied and actually got approved. It's all on your category basis. So if you guys are going to do it, I would say don't. But even right now, I bet you could even apply right now and you would get approved, because so many people jumped Whatnot ship and came over to Poshmark that they literally all just kind of, migrated. There are still some diehards that are on Whatnot, but I think you could almost get approved faster on Whatnot, even if you say you're doing clothing. If you get denied, you can apply as many times as you want. Go for one of the smaller ones that you have stuff in. So let's say you have crafts. I would then say go apply for the crafting section, because once you get approved, it's just like Poshmark. You can sell in any area you want to. You just have to get into the door. Once you get your foot in the door, you're good. Same thing now. Pop Shop, Whatnot, and Poshmark all work on the factor of the person sets up an account with them, and then when they set up the account, then they go from there and they charge. They do all the billing. So that's what you're paying the extra money for. Okay. Now, someone who has done Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, I'll tell you what, I would much rather try and apply for all three of the applications of Whatnot and Pop Shop and Poshmark, because if you get approved on one of them, doesn't mean you have to let one go. You could still build up both and just kind of jump back and forth, because it's just like everything else. There's going to be somebody that loves Poshmark and they're not going to go anywhere. There's going to be somebody who loves Whatnot and they're not going to go anywhere. So you don't almost want to put yourself in that little box. You kind of want to build your box out. The bigger you build out your box, the bigger following you're going to have, the bigger community you're going to have. And then they might be more willing to go over to another platform and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to check this out. You could almost slowly conversion them to the other platforms or to Poshmark, one of the two. So that's how you can get your foot in the door very, very easily. Now, the application process on all of them, the only one that I've heard that is taking the longest now is Poshmark. And they're literally trickling people in. But thank you, you need to go to the Poshmark blog to apply. And it's Poshmark / it's like poshmark.com/blog/live shows. And that's where you apply at. Go apply, sit on the waiting list. But after you get that thing that says you're on the waiting list, either on your phone or on the computer, you can check either one. You're going to go in and you're going to check every single day. Like, I don't care how often it is a day, but check every single day, because they are not sending out emails anymore. They are not doing any training. They're just kind of letting people in and hoping you understand what you're doing. So when it comes to it on the phone, all that you're going to do is you're going to click your little toolbar. And then as soon as that opens, right there, the third one is My Posh Shows. Okay. That's how you know you have access. If you have it, say My Posh Show right there, you've got it. And I'm going to show you guys on the laptop. So that's on the phone version. So if you guys are like, okay, well, I use my laptop more than anything, that's totally fine. You can do that. Can you guys see my screen? Last time I did horrible. Yeah. Okay. So if you're here, okay, now it says you guys can see my screen. Okay. If you guys are here, I got to move you guys over here. Right here, where it says your closet, you're going to click down on it. And then if you scroll down, where is it? You're going to go to your closet. Same thing, right? You're going to go to your closet. Well, it's also in there too. It says Posh shows. But the easiest way to do is go to your closet and do the keyboard there. But if you're really like, I just really want to quickly check, when this drop down opens, sorry, my computer's running super slow, you guys. Soon as the drop down decides it's going to work. Okay, there we go. Right here. See, it says right here, my Posh shows. So that's how you know you've got the Posh show, is right there. It'll say it, my Posh shows. Okay. Now, on the laptop, let's say you guys are comfortable with the laptop. We're going to do it first on the laptop. You'll click on my show. Okay. I know for you guys that have already done it, this part's kind of like, you've already known. She can't see and I'm communicating. Okay. Right here it says, so you can see I have no shows created. I did this on purpose so you guys could see it. So you're literally going to click, there's this blue button that says create. That's where you're going to click on. You're going to click on that create button. And then it'll literally pop this up. This is where you're going to drop your picture down of your screenshot. You're going to put your title in. You're going to put your day, and it could be any day. So like today, right? And then whatever time. Now it has to be 1 minute out. So you can't do 20 or 2:20 because it's already 2:20. So you'd have to do 2:21. And then you can literally click off. And then your duration can be any time. You can say 30 minutes. You can say 5 minutes, I think it goes, now it goes way up. It used to only go up to, so on here, it only goes up to an hour. So you can say 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour. It's not going to kick you off when you hit that 1 hour, even though it says hours. Even if you set it for 45 or 30 minutes, it's not going to kick you off when you hit that time. It's not even going to warn you that you've gone over time. So like this is just non-existent. Like, I don't know why that's there, because it doesn't even, if you guys even look at the screenshots, when you look at the shows that are playing, it doesn't even say that they're going to go for an hour or 2 hours, or it doesn't tell you any of that. Then you've got this new little feature that says, oh, look at this, you guys, new feature alert. This was not here. Now you can literally click if it's a live show or if it's a silent show. How awesome is that? I wonder what the difference is. Okay, now we're going to have to play with this because I have no idea what the difference is. So I wonder if it's going to say something different. So we're going to do a silent one on this one and see what happens. I have to change my time, because now I'm like dying to know what's going to happen. Okay, and I'm going to put the title as test, and it won't let you do anything without a cover shot picture either. So make sure when you guys do your cover shot pictures, because a lot of people go by just the cover shot picture, make sure you pick the same cover shot picture every single time. Don't do, if you aren't sure what picture you're going to want to do, you can change it up. I'm just telling you, you don't want to, because nobody's going to know. I don't even have my screenshot in here. All right, so I'm just gonna have to pick something. Yeah, go ahead, Audrey.
Yeah, I had started putting pictures based on what I was going to be showing on that day. And so I thought about it and I said, you know what, I need to brand myself. And so in order to brand yourself, that helps showing the same picture. So I started showing the picture of my closet. So they'll know every time they see that picture, they know that's me. So it's a form of branding.
Yes, I completely agree. I'm sorry. I just got super excited. Do you see this one? This is new too. I'm like, new features alert. We're like literally getting new features while we're doing this, you
Oh,
guys.
wow. Look,
So
it says
now
first
there's a
show.
show tags. You can
Yeah.
literally mark what kind of, so if it's a closet clear out, if it's your first show, if it's handmade, if it's mystery boxes, if it's luggage, you can literally hit these and now people can know exactly what it is before they even go, okay, you know what? We're still playing with this. All right, you know what? We're gonna do handmade. Oh, you can tag more than one. Look at this, handmade, vintage, activewear. Okay, it lets you do up to 3 tags. Okay. And then you hit schedule. And as long as it's not within your time frame, you're good. Then this is what it looks like on the computer from the background. I just use the pot and look, I can start the show. Okay. So from here, I want to see, I'm actually curious. So we're going to go onto the phone because I want to know what it shows as the picture now, because we just went through all of that stuff and I want to see what it shows you guys on your end. So that it still shows just that. So it doesn't say silent or anything. I wonder if on the front page it does.
Look, Christy, what it says. That's a new feature.
The test. Well, I put test.
No, it says add a preview.
No, the video. It says you
The
can add a video now.
You can give them a sneak preview of what you're going to.
See? See? See, I don't even see that on my screen, probably because it's like all minimized and you guys are probably right over.
Touch
Go
those
to the
3 dots again. Touch those
What are
3
these
dots
3
right
dots?
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
these 3 dots. Oh.
Touch that and see if it's there, because that's.
Yeah, add preview.
See,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
Look at that, you guys. Look, we're finding all kinds of new stuff. See, this is why I play. I tell everybody to play in your show and just be like, hey, I'm playing.
Wait, how do you have people in your waiting room?
Oh, I went in to see what it looks like on the viewer end. So
I have no idea because it's me. No, just kidding.
Hey, Chrissy.
Yeah, you branded yourself.
Hey, Chrissy.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I just scheduled my first show. I didn't know they didn't tell me I could do this or anything. I just went to just followed your directions and I've got a show scheduled now.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Yay.
But
Yay. I don't know if you did you do it on your laptop or did you do it on your phone?
I did it on my iPad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's the same directions for all of them, you guys.
You know, I could have probably done this for weeks and I didn't even know it.
Well, that's because they're not telling anybody, unfortunately. So that's why
of course I've had no training, so I see how to add my items in there. I can see that.
Yep, you do a quick ad so the quick listing, when you guys do a quick listing, that's going to be the one that is without the picture and it's literally just the title. So when you do a quick ad and it all looks the same, everything looks the same from the phone to the laptop. All you're going to do is you're going to you have to put in the title. So whatever the title is, right? And then the category. So whatever category you're selling in for that one. And then you can put the subcategory. So you want to fill in this part for your closet insight. Remember, because if you don't, you're going to be blank. So right now I'm just because I'm doing the test, it's other and then none. And then you want to add the size. So I'm doing one size. Then you'll literally hit OK. And now that one item is now quick listed in your show. So now it'll say, see right there, it says test item. So it's there and it's with no picture. So then to get a picture, you would literally have to exit out of this. If you're just doing this on the laptop, if you hit this exit, you're gonna like completely exit out. So when you're in the live show, this is all before you're loading, okay? I'll show you guys how to quick add in all of that, but this is all before the live show. Now, if you want to do an item that's in your closet, you hit add listing and it'll literally pull up your whole entire closet. And all that you do is click the little X. And then when you're all done clicking it, you hit done and they all add in there. whichever ones. And you can do it by the category. You can drop it down so you can do by category. So if you're searching for a specific item, you can do it that way. Once your show is scheduled also, you can literally go into your, I'm gonna exit the show to show you guys this part. You can also add from your closet into the show. So if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, my show, go ahead, Star.
So I set up a show the other day for pants, and you know how you can put like 50 things in the tray? It would only let me go to 22. And then it said it was full. And then when I went into the show, it only listed the 22. So then I went back out and added, like tried to manually share again. And it said done, only it still only had those original 22. And I spent half my show adding stuff because I could only add it once I was in. Did anyone else ever get that bug? Or
I only got that bug when they were doing updates.
That's okay, so it has happened before. It wasn't like something weird I did. I was just really frustrating through my show.
Yeah, I even got it where it was like, yeah, no, I even got it where it was even where like the timer wouldn't go off and it would just sit there because that's how you can tell they're doing updates. Anytime your show starts glitching really bad and you're like, okay, why is my timer not going away? Why can't I hit the next item? Anything like that, that means they're doing updates. And then that's when you just tell everybody, hey, Poshmart's obviously doing an update. They're, bear with me and we'll figure it out. And I'll show you guys what you can do to also.
Okay.
There's something that a lot of people don't know that you can do. And I, again, played and I figured it out. So let's say I'm going to add these stickers right here into my show, kind of like Star was just talking about. If you hit share, your share, see how it says test? This is your live show. That's how you add the items into your live show. If you're in your closet, you can only do this in your closet at this, this point. If I were to go to like say Renee's closet, I can then add the same way. I can hit that share and I'll show you guys. So I'm going to go into Renee's because I know Renee's like by heart. She even had a contest one time and she's like, hi, how do you do this? And I'm like, oh, or it was what's my closet name? And I was like, oh, that's so easy. Go ahead, iPhone.
Oh, hi. Are you talking to me? Tell you what, maybe I should put my video on. Or
yeah, it says iPhone.
Okay, well, yeah, I didn't log in. So this is Love Your Swag. My question is I've seen numerous live shows, and I've seen your live show numerous times. You're hilarious, very engaging, and I like your energy. So that's why I'm here. Thank you. Oh yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy watching your shows. I've actually bid a couple times on items, and unfortunately, it didn't win. So, but anyway, my question is, I have seen people like on the titles of their items that they're selling that they have numbers that preface the actual title. When you drop it from your closet, drop the titles, drop your item into your live show. Are you able to edit and add that number that helps keep you organized with the party?
What you do is you want to add it before. Like usually most of them are adding the numbers before. So they're doing 834 or 295 or whatever the number is. And they're sticking them, they're getting these tags right here. And where's my camera? There it is. And they're sticking them on the hanger. So when you specifically ask for this number, they know how to do it. So this is if you want to do it this way. You don't have to do it this way. I've tried it this way. I don't like it this way. There's a couple people that do it that way. And then other people will do where they're going, okay, I'm going to do this item, this 300, and it's going to be for this item right here. And then if this item doesn't sell, then they'll go on to the next item and it'll still be number 300. So then they tell you to take a screenshot of your item and they'll take a screenshot on their side, or they won't. and they'll just stick the little paper on it and set it off to the side like that. And that's it, they're done with it. So it all depends on what you're more comfortable with playing around with, is how you want to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I did see they have some numbers. Now, did they have to numbers separate? Or I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if that was part of the beta process.
No. The numbers are just if people wanting to put the numbers in to keep themselves organized, or if they've already had them in, like some people are using their inventory numbers and they're just editing them before the show. So you can do it in that title if you want to. You can put the numbers and then you won't have the picture. That's all up to you. But then the reason why I don't suggest that is because you're doing double the work. Because if that item doesn't sell in your closet, now you have to go back, you have to go add the picture, which you already have the picture. Now you got to change the edit the title, change the title, and then now you have to take the pictures, and then now you have to do the description, and now you have to do you're doing a lot more steps if that item doesn't sell in your show. If it does sell in your show, great. You just said item 300 and you're awesome. But if you don't sell it, then there's all that work behind that you have to do. And a lot of people don't think about the other work aspect of it.
Okay, all right.
I hope that answered the question.
Yes.
Okay. Audrey, go ahead. You're muted, Audrey. There you go.
I saw someone that was where they did the quick list, and they had numbers, and I tried it. I did not like it because, for one thing, you have to, like you said, it's a lot of work. You have to take the screenshot, or you have to keep a list of who purchased what. It's a lot easier when you have the description and the title and the size, because once they purchase it, it's in the sales. You already know who bought
exactly
what. And so you don't have to be concerned with, oh, I got to write this person's name down, or I have to have a screenshot. You already know what they purchased, even with a quick list. So I did a quick list, but I added the name of the item and the designer's name and the size. And so I knew what it was, a white dress, just say St. John's or whatever. And that way, when they purchased it, I just automatically knew who had purchased what. So
exactly.
To do a quick list and not put a title there, that, like you said, that's extra work. And there's a possibility you just might mess up and not know who purchased that item.
Exactly. That can happen too.
Yeah.
So you want to think about kind of from start to finish, because before, and I know it's so much easier now, I have to admit, and Renee can say it is too. And I think Audrey started before the bundling was too. When they added before the bundling, it sucked. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It was the most horriblest thing. And it was funny because Renee was like, oh, I can't believe you're complaining about packages. And it was like, it wasn't the complaining about the packages, it was the messages you would get. And it was the packages, and it was the work you had to go into it and do for everybody. And nobody understood that until they actually did a live show. And then they had to message people, and then they had to say, okay, I'm going to bundle your items together, please pay for them. And then people not pay for them. And then so you either decide to cancel the order or send it out in multiple packages and get the person to yell at you because you send it out in multiple packages. So it was a lot more than what it is now. It is much nicer now with the bundle shipping because it all just adds up for you. The only thing that sucks though, and I don't know if anybody else has had this happen, is the money's not secure until the show is over. So someone can go back in, unfortunately, they can edit their credit card and they can literally make it so it doesn't count. So that's the only sucky thing about it, is that it's not locked until the show ends. And I don't want people to be doing that to people because that's messed up, but it does happen because I've had it happen a couple times. You think that the order is done because they're saying that they're sold, and then they have either buyer's remorse or whatever the case may be, or they don't have enough money on their card and they just forget about it, and then you still have the item. So that's also a possibility. So if that happens to you, which was better than the old way, was almost better because it was in the show. So when the item didn't sell, you could then rerun that item and sell it again and start it off at the last price or whatever. So there's some
Chrissy?
good and some bad. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the other thing I have found, of course, I'm not, this will be my first show, and I haven't done one yet, but I've been scarfing off of you and Ladybug Frogger and a couple other friends. But anyway, they've helped me, gave me half of a show or whatever. And the other thing is, people think that everything that they buy in that show is going to be in one shipping, but I had one that was almost 10 pounds one time.
Yeah.
And so I just let it go through. And of course I got my hand slapped.
Yeah, you will, and you'll be in the Poshmark sale jail for a couple days, and then you'll get out, and it's no fun, but I've been in there a couple dozen times.
So they'll suspend me for a few days. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but it's not the way you think about it. It's like you don't show up on the search part. So like when people are searching, say like, okay, I'm saying it because I'm looking for Levi's, and they type in Levi's and your closet has Levi's, it'll be dark. Like it won't pop up in that search. So you'll be penalized for a couple days, but it's nothing. I mean, truly, I don't think there's honestly anybody who hasn't been penalized.
But here's the thing, that they tell the buyer everything you buy in this show will be included in the shipping. So the buyer thinks they can just buy 50 pounds worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's still, that's why they say they're in beta. They're in beta testing because they're still trying to work out all of the bugs. And actually, technically, you're supposed to stop at 10 pounds, but who truly does? I mean, if you have 2 mystery boxes and they're both 5 pounds each, now you have to tell that person they can't buy any more mystery boxes because you're already at 10 pounds.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's a lot of give and take to it. It's still, unfortunately, a learning process, and they're getting better every single time. I can say that, just like these new features that they added, and we'll find out if they're on the phone and the iPad here in a second. Yeah, I think they're great. Like, okay, cool. Now we've got some other stuff that can separate you, because you always have to stay separate from everybody else and popping and booming, and it's a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's say I'm going to share Renee's stuff, right? So if I click on this little rotator thing, it should do the same exact pop-up. So now I can literally put these pair of leggings of Renee's into my next show, this test show. So when I go back to the test show, you guys will see Renee's leggings in the test show that we never started because we're just showing. But if you want to go like again, you can go a super easy way. Instead of going backwards, you're just going to go back into your show. So if you're featuring other people's closets, you have to do this on another device. There's I cannot figure it out any other way around. So you either have to preload or you have to do it on another device while you're live in the show if you're going to do another person's closet. I can't figure it out any other way yet. The moment I do, I will say, this is how you do it. But I have not figured it out, and I've tried it a couple different ways and I can't not figure out how to do it. So you have to do it from another device as far as I know. If there's another way, cool, I want to learn. But so if you go back into the creation show, here's my show, it's loading, and we'll go into there and you'll be able to see Renee's leggings. They'll be right there along with everything else. So see, now I've got 5 total listings. So they're all right there, and they go in the order, and you can search too. You have this search bar, you have them on all of them. So you have it on a seller's end and you have it on a shopper's end. And I don't know if people saw it on a shopper's end yet, or if they even noticed it, but on a shopper's end, you still have this search, and you can literally search. So you can be like, okay, I just want to find medium clothes, right? Does this show have any medium clothes? Any medium sizes at all? Well, yeah, because I've got the one size, of course. So medium's gonna come up, right? Because I'm saying I have multiple sizes. I think, so I wanna look for Renee's leggings, right? Ellie, there's Renee's leggings right there. They automatically popped up and you can see them. So they're there. Now, if you want to get rid of them because you're like, okay, I've already ran it, or she's not answering or whatever, you click on the little pencil and then you click the X to get rid of them, and then they're done. And then you have to make sure you hit the done. And then now they're out of the show. So now if I were to type in leggings, and you can see my listings went down, I have no leggings.
Is
So-
that what they mean by removing items from the tray?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
everybody's talking about. That's how you remove them on the desktop. The laptop and the iPhone are so much easier to remove item. I mean, that's a lot of steps. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. It's so much easier on the phone than it is on the computer. And then when you end the show, you'll hit end, and it should see the laptop doesn't even do it. It just automatically ends the show. Or no, that exited the show. I didn't start the show. Okay, wait a minute. So do you guys want to see how to schedule on the phone and the laptop, or do you just want to then see how to work them from there? The phone and the iPad, because I have both. I have all three devices to show you guys. So I'll leave it up to you guys. On the scheduling. Okay.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth. So let's say you're doing it on your laptop and you're going to be on your phone. Okay. I'm going to mute you, Beth. Or can you mute Beth? There we go. Okay. So, not that I don't want to hear you, Beth, but I'm just going to mute you. Okay. So so here's on the phone, right? It's the same exact thing. Like I told you guys go up to the little ranches, you go to your shows. I can't ever do this backwards. And then there's the show, right? You schedule the same show just the same way. You hit the create on the phone, and then you have the same exact, you don't have the same exact. Okay, so you can only get, okay, hold on. Now I gotta look and see if there's an update. I'm all doing everything. This now, see, this is like a live Posh and Sip right here. Okay, so I'm still, okay, so there's no updates. So to get the tag words and the silent auction and all that, you have to do it on the laptop. It is not on the phone yet. So that you guys saw is not on the phone yet. So you only have the title. Oh, seriously. You only have the title, the start time, and the length. Now on the length, you actually have more time frames on here. But again, remember, this doesn't matter. Like you can put that you're gonna go 6 hours. It doesn't matter. It doesn't show up anywhere that you're going for 6 hours. So that doesn't matter. Okay, so when you're in your show, okay, and you're like, okay, I want to add items, take away items, we're gonna actually start it on the laptop. So you'll hit the start button, okay? And then it says that you're currently hosting, please download. So I don't know why it's not doing it on this one. So I got an error, so whatever on that one. Probably because I don't have the right, oh, it wants me to do that. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna start it on my phone. All right, I'm gonna take it off of share screen so you guys can see. So you can see it's literally looking at the room. So I'm gonna switch it so it's this way so you guys can see yourselves, you know, me, hi, you know, there it is. So now we're in a live show. So this is what it looks like from the actual seller's perspective. You can see where you've got the little mute. So if you're gonna do the silent show, you can mute it. Oh my goodness. Not the Poshmark policies. So then now there's no sound going through there. You can switch your camera around, and then you've got the tray or the bucket or whatever you want to call it. Now you can see all the items are listed, right? If I want to get rid of any item, all that you do is you just swipe and see right there, it says delete. If you just keep swiping, it'll delete it. Now it's gone. That is literally it. That is all you have to do on the phone and the iPad. Renee's making fun of me because I'm trying to do this backwards.
No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because people are joining your show and they're confused.
Hi guys. Yeah, I know. They're like, what is going on? So then there's my, now you get to see my desktop. See? Okay. So now say you're only on the phone, because I've had people go, okay, well, how do I'm going to cover it. How do I literally add stuff to my tray, or my computer's messing up and you only have the phone? Okay. If you swipe up, and I know you guys are going to think this is crazy, but now you get your little screens, right? And if you literally close your screen, right? You guys are thinking like it's not live anymore, right? I'm going to show you guys that it's actually still going live right now. The screen's probably blank. I don't even know what it looks like. Actually, let's see what it looks like, because I've never done it this way before. So let's see if it's still blank. So that's what it looks like on your end, right? So what I'm going to do, and this is if it's ever glitching. So my show's still running right now. People are still going into the show, but there's nothing playing on the background. So this is another way that you could actually do a silent auction, because you could literally pin this now and I could literally start auctioning this off, right? Because it's literally going. This is another way you could do a silent auction without even being there. So you literally go and it's now running. Okay. Now, like I told you, okay, you have the one device, right? And you're like, oh man, I really, really want to add something. While it's going, all you do is you go back into your Poshmark app, wherever yours is at, and it's literally going to load, right? Go back into your show like you normally would, or your closet. Look right there. I can literally, I'm going to add something right in front of you guys. Right? Boom. There it is. It is literally now added. All that I have to do is just hit refresh and you guys will see it. It is, let me take off this test. It is right. Oh, seriously? I don't do this on the computer very often, as you can tell. Right there. There it is. See? And then all I have to do is say, okay, now I'm ready to go back into my show. So I'm literally, you can hit the orange bar. It'll take you back into your show. And then you'll literally connect to this device. And then now we're back live again. That's how you do it. From one device, that's how you do it. If you ever get frozen too, you literally just scroll up and you close it.
You're up to 13 people.
13 people in here.
Actually,
Actually, the show that's not actually going on. So that's how you guys do that. Isn't this funny? That's why Renee's laughing. She's like, what is going on? So if I wanted to, same thing with this, I can do it on this device, right? Same exact stuff. Now, let's say you're going to run the item, okay? So you guys kind of saw it over here. All that you do is you hit the item that you want and you're gonna pin it, okay? Once you pin it, it'll tell you you've got this start auction button. You're gonna hit start auction and you're gonna pick your duration of how much you wanna start it for and your duration of time. You got 30, 40, and 60. And then you're gonna start the auction, okay? So now this item is being auctioned off. You can't stop it once it's started. That's the only bad thing. There's no way of stopping this auction once it started yet. They haven't made a program yet that they can do that where it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. So it's literally just gonna sit there and run, okay? I'm getting hearts. Aww. So then that's the alarm clock if you guys have never seen it. Now on your end, if you're on the phone, you're gonna do the same thing, right? you're literally gonna hit, except you're gonna hit the little trays. So you guys see all these little like trays right here? And you literally hit this tray, and then there's all your items. And then you're gonna hit whichever one you wanna start. And then you literally have a littler auction button. So it looks exactly the same on the phone as it does in for you as a buyer. And then you hit auction. And then you literally hit whatever the price is again, the same time, all this is the same, and then you hit schedule and then it starts running. Okay, that's how you do it. And then when you're done, since this show is running, remember, the only way you can end, now if I exit the show, it's not ending the show. You have to actually end the show. So if you just accidentally, which I've done, don't tell, if everybody's like, oh no, I've hit, you literally can forget. So you got to make sure you end your show. So even if you're in the silent, remember right now we're just doing like the silent thing. So nobody's actually in there. I can type, I can do all of that. And you're literally going to hit the exit. When you hit the exit, the X, oh my goodness. It literally just closes it. See, I'm still technically live. So you want to make sure that you actually go into your show, connect your device, because if you don't, you're never going to hit that exit. And it's just a quicker way for you to make sure that you exit. So you hit exit. Ugh. Oh my goodness. There we go. And then literally you get these two that pop up. You get you're in your show or send your people to another show. So if you want to send the Posh Love, you literally go through the show and you'll see every single show that's playing right now. And you can literally click it. And then this is what it looks like on your end. It says, so you want to, are you sure you want to click in? Yep, we want to in. And then it literally loads, and then it loads whoever the person is their picture. And that's where everybody's going to go to, is that show. And then you can say next show if you don't really want to go to that one. Like I literally just sent you guys this other show now, you know, whoever was in there. So I was like, no, I really don't want to go to that one. So I hit the next show, and it just it'll automatically throw you into that next show, whoever's next. Okay.
Oh, Vintage just joined your show. That's too bad. Did you end it?
Yeah. Did she? Oops, hi, Vintage. Okay, is there any iPhone? I see you have your hand up. Go ahead. Did you have a question, or did you just forget to put it down? If you did, and I
No, my bad.
okay, just checking. All right, does anybody have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, any concerns, anything you guys want to vent, talk about? Any other questions?
Yes, one.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Would you suggest that I do a silent one first?
I personally don't like silent ones. I think if you do a silent auction first, people will probably expect you to constantly do a silent one, and then they won't come back when you don't do a silent one.
Really?
That's just me personally. I could totally be wrong on that one, but that's kind of like, I won't look at somebody, which I know there's people that are like, oh yeah, silent ones are really good, but they're kind of boring.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I wouldn't start off with a silent. I know you're kind of like, if you're okay, you guys don't be scared. Okay, that's gonna be my main thing. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna screw up people's names. I still screw up people's names. I don't even see Rochelle in here. I usually call her something totally different. I called Elegant Elephant. I mean, I have done everything. I've called people Renee. I mean, my husband has turned off the light in the middle of a show, so it went completely black. I forgot to turn off a show one time and was literally being a mother to my 17-year-old, and that's all I need to say. So I think it was like Stacy who messaged me and goes, your show hasn't ended, by the way. And I just like started going through my head and going, oh my God, what the heck did I say? Like, did I say anything bad? Like, did I curse? Oh my God, am I going to lose my Poshmark account? Like, what did I say? And then I came back the next show, and that was probably like the most scariest show to come back from, because I thought, like, I was like playing everything through my head, and I'm like, okay, everybody knows I have a 17-year-old. So if I was cursing, they're okay with it. I wasn't beating the crap out of him. He wasn't screaming. I said, the only bad thing he said was, what, you have no faith in me? And I'm like, okay, if anybody knows kids, they know they all say that. So it's like, okay. And I'm going through and I'm like, okay. And then as people started trickling in, it like completely left my mind because nobody brought it up. Nobody said anything. No, it was just like, no, it didn't happen. I was like, cool. People have changed kids' diapers on the show. Someone was saying somebody else was fighting, like 2 people were actually fist fighting and screaming on shows. Another one I was watching, and she broke something like in her house, like was running through the house and broke something, and it was her husband's. And then she's like, so if you guys were in there, I'm like, not trying to badmouth her, but and she's like, oh, I'm not gonna tell him I broke it. And I'm like, oh my God, how are you gonna get away with that? You just did this on air. Like everybody saw you break this. How do you know he's not watching it? And then you're like, oh, I'm not gonna tell him. So anything can happen on a live show. And I would warn people of that. You know, if you have 6 kids, be like, hey, I have 6 kids. Just so you know, this is my life. You know, go ahead, Audrey. You were first, then iPhone, then start.
The other day, I was doing a live show and someone was being very rude. They actually listed a show that they were going to be doing tomorrow
Yes.
and asking people to join them.
I got
And I
one.
just called them out. I said, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. I mean, you don't just list your stuff in someone's live show.
Exactly.
You know, that's being
That's a
very
no-no.
rude. That's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
Yeah.
You
And
can,
so,
if you ever, Audrey, if you want to, you can block their comment, and then they can't comment anymore, and they can't bid. So they
that's
can't
what I
comment.
did.
Yeah, they can't comment and they can't bid. But here's the
Mhm.
problem: if you only block their comment, they
Mhm.
can come back into your show at any point and into your closet at any point. So the
Mhm.
only way to make sure that you completely they can't come back into your show is you have to block them in
Mhm.
Poshmark. If you block them, they can't come into your show at all.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows. That's like the one good time to use the block is if somebody's being a butt. You block their comment and then make sure you write down somewhere their closet name or take a screenshot and then go back and make sure you block them, because if you don't, they can come back to your next show.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to tell you that, Audrey. Yeah, but
Yeah,
don't do that.
it's very rude.
Totally different.
Yeah, that's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me share, like you said, or send them to someone's show. But
Exactly.
never post your stuff in someone else's closet on their live show.
Yeah, only if
That's
they
just-
ask. I see Crystal
Mhm.
wanting to kind of say something. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just on that, because it's hard to know, because some people are okay with that. I would think that if you have a problem with that, I don't know if I would block the person, but if you have a problem with that, just let them know that you don't want that. Because some people are okay if you talk about, they want to support you, that you have a show coming up. I know that some people don't, what some people do that's kind of rude, when somebody has an item up and they say, oh, I have that in my closet cheaper than that, then that's,
Yeah, that's bad too.
that's
I
a
would
no-no.
I would say before just going in, like, to answer that one, I would ask somebody first, honestly, before I
Right.
just posted anything about a show. I don't even like you. I know you guys don't see me when I'm in your guys' shows. I like the focus being on you guys. And I know sometimes, like, if you guys see me in Froggies, she'll start talking about my hats and, oh, she made it. I'm okay with that, but sometimes I start blushing. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Turn the attention back onto you. Like, I'm good. So it all depends on the person. So I would ask first before just going into somebody's show and being like, hey, by the way, I have this show coming up. Are you cool with it? Because it could be that it's just, they could only be wanting to celebrate somebody's first show, not their 29th show or 50th show, or God, I can't even tell you how many shows I'm on.
Yeah,
I didn't even know the
definitely
person.
ask too. But there are some people that don't know. I know one show, it was a young guy, he had just joined. And so he started talking about, I don't know if he's talking about an item or a show, but he really felt bad, but he didn't know. So sometimes people don't really know that that's not what you're supposed to do because other people allow it, so they're not sure. So I wouldn't necessarily, be upset with them because they might not know. But then you just have some people that are just rude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but usually the person, if you're sharing your closet, you've already gotten permission from that person to do so. I don't think anyone is just jumping around to different people's closets, live shows, and just posting their information. Those people that don't mind are the ones who know that individual and allowing them to post in their live show. But this person, I didn't know. I didn't get upset with them, but I just said that's very rude. And it really is because, I didn't even know the person.
Right.
It's okay for, Chrissy doing a show like she did today, and she's talking about I'm the fur queen, and she, said, you need to follow her. That's totally different. That's totally different. I can see that.
I agree with you. iPhone. Audrey, are you done? Before I ask, okay.
Hi. Yeah, I just have a couple of questions. First of all, maybe some feedback from some people who have done shows. Is it easier for you to do it on your own or kind of have a wing person with you? Because I've seen it both ways.
For me, I've done just by I've done one time with my son, and mostly I do them all by myself. And I'll tell you what, if I had an actual helper like some of the other people do that actually help, I'd love it. You can ask. Renee was at that show, and he was just like, "Ugh, this sucks." And I'm like, "Would you just do it?" Like, oh my god, I want to. I'm like going off the camera so you guys can't see me. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you when I'm done. Like, you're gonna die. Because it was like that bad. But if you have somebody who's good, like Renee's had other people help her, but I've also and I don't know if I can help Renee. If there's somebody you trust, you can give them and I'm not suggesting this, but if you do trust somebody and you're like, hey, I know they're not going to screw me over, you can give them access since they don't have a monitor, and you can have them help you. And they can moderate and pull stuff into your closet or move stuff out or whatever. You can do that if you want to. Like I said, Renee's had somebody. I don't think, Audrey, have you had anybody? I don't know who else has done live shows yet. I'm looking. Yeah, I think it's just Renee and Audrey that have done live shows. Has anybody else done any lives yet?
I have.
Oh, Star, you did it all by yourself too, right?
Yeah. Nobody in my house wants to be near a camera or microphone.
Yeah, so see, she's like me.
But
so
I use two devices. I have the phone broadcasting and my tablet I bought specifically for Poshmark.
Yeah, that's what mine is too. So Renee, then Renee's the only one who's had help. Renee, talk about your booty call help.
So yeah, I had help and it was awesome. But then you have to manage another personality. So there's that, because they're like, this isn't their thing. But it was that was one of my first shows though. So I feel like if you can get help for your first show, then you can do it until you get comfortable. I think that would be a good idea. But also, like, we help each other. Like, if you have friends on Poshmark, tell them to come to your show, because that was really helpful for me too. I had my PFFs there, and so when people were asking for certain stuff that I didn't see, they would repeat it in the comments for me, and that was really helpful.
So if you're lucky and you can get somebody, go for it.
Now, my second question is, you talked briefly about live shows, not live, silent versus not silent shows. So do you recommend stick with one, or has anyone had any experience where they've done both? And any feedback on that?
I do both. So my very first show, I did a silent just so I could get used to the buttons. And it actually turned into me talking on camera, but not showing anything. So it was still kind of silent. Like I didn't have the items in front of me. I was sitting on my couch. The second show I did was a silent one. And I sold one item, and then I finally was like, okay, I'm going to go on camera. And then my third one was that. And so now I'll do either a pop-up or a scheduled live on camera, or if I'm just sitting on the couch watching like, you know, Law and Order, I'll do like a silent, I'll do like a silent show while I'm sitting there, just because then it's like, even if I don't sell anything, people are still popping in and seeing my items or my closet. So I look at it more as like another version of sharing. And if I sell something, I sell something. But I'll just do that if I'm like sitting on the couch. I block the camera with a blanket and I mute the mic, and then I just run my items for like a minute.
Well, now you know you don't have to block the camera. You just don't have to go all the way in.
I know. I was very excited when you showed that.
I know. I see. I do recommend you guys constantly play even in your show, because they're always, unfortunately, as some of you know, that you never get an email. You just all of a sudden get access. So, and they definitely don't tell us when they do an update. It's not like they send out a massive email and say, hey, there's new features. You just kind of have to play. So always play. And the worst thing that can happen is either you'll like completely get kicked out of your show and you have to go back in, not that big of a deal, or you'll accidentally end your show, which, okay, still not a big deal. And I think maybe the third thing is you might crash Poshmark, but I'll tell you what, if you can crash Poshmark, I would have already done it. So I think you guys are good, because I've literally played, you can ask, like Renee and me were the first day you could share each other's stuff. Me and Renee were playing with it and going, okay, let's see how this works. So if you can break it, we would have already broken it. I know I would have. Go ahead, Star. What was your question?
Oh, so to assuage your fears, Mike, my first on camera live show, I completely winged it. Filled the tray. First, I was going to do the whole number method and just a generic 200 quantity listing, and that was a horrible mistake, so don't do that. Because afterwards, I sold 7 items in my first show. I was on for 3 hours. My back hurt. I wanted to cry. The mistake was, I recommend using your actual items if you can, or if you have some sort of system up, because at the end of the show, I had mixed 2 piles up, and I had to actually message a buyer and go, oh, I'm sorry, did you buy this or this? Because here's how dumb I am. In the middle of the show, a squishmallow flew off my rack and into my face.
Nice.
A hanger attacked me. Somehow it must have been like shoved in between. And somebody asked me for something that was like across my basement, and I tripped over my cords and knocked the camera down onto the floor. So they were all staring at the ceiling while I was running around going, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and yelling from across my basement. So like, and in the end, I wasn't like, I was like, who cares? I sold 7 items. Like, they thought it was the funniest thing ever and like super fun. It was like 2 a.m. Central Time. Like,
oh my God,
it was nuts. And I had started at like 10 p.m. or something. Like, because that's just how I am.
I'm not going to midnight.
No, but like, but it was like, that's what happened on my first full live on camera showing item show. Like, I was literally chaos, and it was fine. And I don't have anyone coming into my shows now when I do it who are like, oh, I remember when you knocked over your camera, or I remember when that hanger tried to punch you in the eyeball. Like, nobody mentions any of that. So like, don't even worry if you go the route I did and you do a silent one first just to get used to the buttons, or if you go the route of I'm just going to go on camera, like, don't even worry about it. Because most people, even the people who come in to support you that you know regularly, like, they're not going to bring up the time that a squishmallow decided to attack you via
oh no,
gremlin
that's
style.
not true. I'll do that. I'll
Well,
do that.
I was just going to say that. Oh, I might. I definitely
Okay,
will.
yeah,
do
just
that.
make sure you do your
that
show
too.
at 2 a.m. so Chrissy's not in there when the squishmallow attacks you.
Yes, exactly. Because that's too early for me. I'm still sleeping.
But so it's fine. And even now, like, there's still like something can go wrong. It doesn't matter. As long as a rack doesn't fall on my face or like I don't actually get murdered on camera, like it's
Hey,
fine.
if you
It
do,
doesn't
they'll be
matter.
on camera though.
You know, as long as you guys tell my story on Dateline in a really good way, that would be great. Thanks.
Renee's face was just great. Oh my God. And she was just like, what are you talking about? Really, in all actuality, just go and do it. They're so much fun. Like, and okay. The one thing I can say is with all the shows that now are going on, you're not gonna, and don't think you're gonna sell out every single show. Like, it's not, if you do, great. I know there are people that do. Congratulations to those ones. I'm not one. I have never had a sold out show. Renee hasn't either. Audrey, have you? Yeah, see, so
My first show, I sold 20 items.
yeah, so you guys are dealing with
And
like
never sold out.
legit people. You know, I can say, like I always tell you guys, I was like in the first group, and I was scheduled the first for 3 days of the shows. Never sold out once. The most I've ever had in one of my shows, and you got to remember, this was back then when there was hardly any shows, was 123 people. Now I'm lucky if I get 30, you know, and that's just how it is, you know. And you got to make yourself stand out and be different than everybody else, because if you start looking at the shows, they're all the same. Like, unfortunately, it's true, and I don't mean to be mean, but they are. Everybody's showing the same stuff. It might be at a different price. It might be, so you got to do stuff to get people to find you, because once they find you, they're going to click with you or they're not. And that's how you got to find those people that are going to find you. Go ahead, Star.
On the price note, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell things for $3 because 20 other people are. Like, I refuse to. My like lowest price point, depending on the item, is like 15, and that's what you're gonna get. If you come to my show and you want $3, you can go to another show. If I get 3 people, that's fine. I did a whole like 2-hour long pants show and I didn't sell anything, and then 2 hours later I just did a random pop-up Star Trek collectible show. Didn't have any listings, used a generic one, had a big box of Star Trek stuff, and I sold 9 items.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And literally I didn't have anything about starting price. Nobody else on there had Star Trek stuff that I'm aware of, because it's such a weird random thing. So do not set your price point based on other people's shows, because you don't have a palette in your living room. You don't know how these people got their stuff, and don't shortchange yourself just to try to compete.
Yes, make your show based on, Stacy's got a comment too. I'll let you go in 2 seconds. Make your show for you, not anybody else. Make it for you. And if you are comfortable, like I'm comfortable on some stuff, you'll see me start some stuff at $3, some stuff at 15. It all depends. You have to live with yourself at the end of the day, what you decided to do. Go ahead, Stacy.
I was just going to say, my motto, I heard somebody say this, and my motto for this year, and especially when it comes to the live shows and stuff, like I've been trying to psych myself up and everything to do it, is just do the thing. Even if you have to do it scared, just do the thing. And I was just like, okay.
Let me tell you, you're going to learn more if you try and you don't like it, or you fail at it, than if you don't try at all. Because you will sit there and wondering what could have been, what could have happened, what could have this. And yes, we gotta give Renee a motivation talk too, because she's got the access and she's like, I just can't get into it. And I'm like, would you just do it? She doesn't list either. So when I tell you guys I bug people, you can ask Renee. Like, I bug her like all the time. I'm like, what did you list? What did you list? And she hasn't even realized that I haven't hardly listed anything, or else she would be doing it back to me. So don't make her think, like, don't think she's like all innocent, because she's not. But just do it. I mean, what is the worst thing? Here's the worst thing that can happen. Yes, it's time. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take you some time. But if you pull stuff from your closet, it'll take you like maybe 15, 20 minutes to pull your stuff from your closet, put it out, do it. And what I heard someone else say, which I totally agree, is load your 25, like let's say you're gonna do your first show of 25. Load those 25 items. Okay. If those 25 items don't sell, re-add, just keep doing those 25 items until they sell, because you might get somebody that's totally different. And then you can add maybe 2 or 3 things. If you sell 5 things, add 5 new things into it and just keep rotating that stock if that's what you feel comfortable doing. You don't have to have new stuff every single day. But there again, keep in mind, like everybody is selling clothes. Everybody is. So if you're selling clothes, you're going to have more of a competition than, like Star said, with the Star Wars characters or the video games or the books or the antiques or whatever, or just do like a mixed up show. Doing, don't, I tell you guys, don't do like the quick list because of your closet insight. You want your closet insight valid, plus then you have a leg to stand on when someone opens up a claim. And realize too, when you guys do shows, your claims are going to go up. Like your claims are going to go up more than what they did before the shows. It doesn't matter how well you show that item, how well you describe that item, you can do everything to a T and somebody is still going to complain about something. So watch out for that. Which I did hear that Poshmark is actually getting on people that open too many claims. Like they're starting to kick them off. So that's a good sign. And be careful if you guys do decide to go into those authentic bag shows, the luxury bag shows, because Poshmark actually is watching 5 people, 5 of them, because they're not selling legit stuff and they're lying and saying they are selling legit stuff. So be careful. And if you guys see, those are the closets that have the most usually watchers, because I've even noticed there's a girl that Renee adores. Like Renee loves this woman, and I was competing with her for like the longest time trying to figure out how she does what she does, because she was having sold out show after sold out show after sold out show after sold out show. She was selling things, starting things at $3 and they weren't staying. Now I've gone into her show with all these other shows and she's struggling just like everybody else is. Everybody is struggling to get the people in. So if you can do something, and I'm not talking about going out and buying a pallet. Don't go out and buy a pallet just because you want to compete with the pallet people. But if you can add something different to your show that nobody else is doing, do that. Do you. If you have like a passion for something, like I would have never thought my closet was going to go in the direction of the customizing stuff. And it is, and the upcycling and all that. And that's where it's going. That's fine. Go with the flow, and like Renee does amazing mystery boxes. If you guys have not bought one of her mystery boxes, she does like insane mystery boxes and they sell like crazy. So find what works for you, which I think Renee should just do an all mystery box show, but she can't get into lives for some odd reason. So whatever on that. Go ahead,
I
Star.
reckon Renee should do that too. She would have a sellout show if she did an all mystery box show.
She would. Tell her.
Uh-huh.
See, Stacy's telling you, Renee.
Renee.
Come on, Renee. Get with it. She's gonna kick my butt later. Go ahead, Star.
I was gonna say, and remember, like, you have the power. If you're in your show and somebody's harassing, you can stop them and you can block them in the future. Like, you have the power. Or you could flat out go, you know what? I don't have to take this. I'm ending my show. Bye, and close it. Those people, like, you're never gonna see them. You're not gonna be like in Target going, oh my God, you're this person that I saw. Like, you can't see them. There are certain things, like I have like 40 tattoos. So yeah, if somebody in Minnesota happened to watch my show and I go to a store and they recognize my tattoo, that is a risk that I have because of my identifiers. But nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna notice you, honestly. So like, don't let that scare you either. Is just do your thing, do what you have to do. And if you're not comfortable or someone's making you not comfortable, end your show. You're not out anything other than like the hour you were on. And the people who are in there that were interested in your stuff, chances are they'll just go in your closet and buy it then, because they'll see the chat or they'll see whatever's happening and recognize that. So don't let that intimidate you either. Don't be afraid to just hit the in show.
And honestly, I don't know if you guys were, I know Renee was there, obviously, because it had to do with Renee. I think CB was there. There was Renee. I'm going to tell the story of the one. So you guys, here's how, if you guys have true Posh friends in your show, this is what will happen. And I am going to tell Renee's story of what happened because it was awesome. So I was showing my hats because people were asking about the custom hats. And this person comes in. I couldn't even tell you the person's name. I know Renee probably still remembers the closet name. But she literally says, you can go to Michael's and get those hats and have them custom done for like $5. And I was trying so hard to stay cool, calm, and collective. And Renee just is like, how rude. I mean, Renee just went off. She was like, how rude are you? Like, just coming into this show and saying this when you know nothing. And I was just like flabbergasted. I like was trying so hard to like stay like calm, cool, and collective. And here's Renee just like totally ripping into this girl. And she all of a sudden then starts going with Renee and they start back and forth. And you're like trying to read the comments. And Renee's like, would you stop reading the comments? And I'm like, because I started reading what she was saying back to Renee and what Renee was saying, but I would stop when I would get to the point where I realized, okay, wait a minute, she's bad mouthing Renee. Renee's then saying something, and Renee's like, just stop. And she's like, block her. And I'm like, I can't, you guys block her. Like, my hands are full, and it was bad, but that'll happen too. And if you have the true friends, they'll just take over for you, and you just don't even have to worry about them. You're just like, oh, okay, whatever. But I kid you not, if it was in person, I think Renee would have been fighting because she was just like, no, you do not. I mean, she was pissed because we heard of, she even came into the Discord and started typing about it. She's like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. And she's like, I can't believe you held it together. Because if you guys have ever seen me, I'm like, I try and chill. And this lady, I was like, could you tell I was pissed? And Renee goes, no. I was like, I was holding it together so good. In my mind, I'm like, you. I was like,
I was so pissed. I was so pissed. And then Chrissy said my name, of course, and so she used my real name, and I was like, "You don't know me. Like, don't even talk to me." Like,
you would have been selling tickets. Heck yeah, I would have been selling tickets. I would have been selling tickets to that fight. I would have been like, yep, we're gonna sell tickets, and I'm taking bets. And you guys are not allowed to bet on Renee. You have to bet on the other person so I can win all the money. No, just kidding. Be like, she's gonna knock him out.
but yeah, no, Chrissy's so right, because I've been in other shows where people come in and like said rude things and done stuff like that, and like your PFFs will, like, I've seen other, like, the person with the show does not have to even engage. Like, their PFFs are like, that's not appropriate. You can't, don't come in here and say that, stuff like that. So I have seen the Posh love with that.
Yeah.
Where did Chrissy go?
Oh, I had to let the kid in. I had to let the kid in.
Stacy has her hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Stacy.
I missed what you were saying about blocking before. If somebody's already blocked on your Poshmark, like you've already had to block them previously before you do live shows, can they enter your show and interact with you while you're live?
No, not at all.
Okay, just wanted to verify.
Yeah, it says when it comes up, and I actually know this, I know it firsthand. It comes up and says this person is unable to watch your show at this time. That is what it says. So they don't even know.
Very colorful people.
Yeah, they don't even know, unless they know that you've blocked them. They're not going to know why they can't watch the show. They're going to be like, oh, why can't I watch this show? I knew, so that's how I knew it. Go ahead, Crystal.
Oh, also, if you mute somebody that's in your show, they can still be in your show, but they can't, they're writing their comments, but nobody sees what they're writing, and they don't know that you can't see it. Unless somebody else lets them know, because that happened in another show where the person was writing whatever, she was having an issue. She didn't know that nobody could read her comments because she had been muted.
Yeah, and you can't even hold on.
I'm taking the truck. I'm taking Toby.
Okay.
But
No go. You're going to give some. Got it. Goodbye.
well, tell your folks that,
They can hear you.
hello, okay, tell,
Block, so you're good. Okay.
uh,
See, even life happens over here. Okay. Also, yes, they don't know, and if they back out of the show and they come back in, it's that whole entire show. So it's not like they can come back, they can exit out and come back in, and then they can make comments. So they're blocked, muted, or whatever you want to call it. If you block their comments, they're blocked for that whole entire show. And I had emailed Poshmark to ask if they could actually bid. Poshmark came back and told me that they could bid, but I actually blocked somebody that was bidding, like deliberately bidding stuff up, and then they would, be like, oh, I want to cancel, the one that's hitting the, you'll see them and they'll hit it like 32, you started at $3 and they keep hitting it and he keep hitting it and hitting it. I've blocked those people and the bid has stopped automatically. So, but Poshmark says it doesn't, but it actually does. It stops them from bidding in your show. So that's another thing you can use. Did you guys have anything else that you guys wanted to ask, talk about, concerns?
Yeah, what were you supposed to tell us?
What do you mean, what was I supposed to tell you?
Your hubby was saying tell your people something.
Oh,
and then it muted.
Oh yeah, that I had to call my parents and tell them that he's taking the son over to my parents' house and they're going to GameStop. So he's like, I'm taking your truck. I'm like, okay, take my truck. I don't care. Go ahead, Crystal. What was your question?
Oh, this was just, I heard this from another seller. She was just giving, some advice. One of the things she said was selling clothes, to make sure that you have more than one of that size, because people like to bundle, and because you're paying that almost $8 shipping. So they want to get more than one item, but sometimes especially if you have plus sizes, you may only have one plus size or you have one small or whatever, those people can't do bundles. So you want to make sure you have at least 2 or 3 of, that same size to give the everybody options.
There's a lot of people, if you haven't started noticing, that are doing size shows. Like they're doing, okay, today's all smalls or all mediums or all extra larges or all 3X. And I think that's what I don't like. I'm going to tell you guys why I don't do those. I don't do those specifically because you always get that one person that comes in and goes, oh, well, do you have any smalls? And you're like, well, no, I don't have any. Well, can't you get them? And then you're like, no, but I'll have smalls tomorrow. And you tell them what time your show is going to be. And then they like ghost you. It's like you're like, so, I mean, it's kind of like one of those hit and miss. I mean, even if they like you, they might miss your next show. So that's why I say you got to kind of just honestly play with it. Hi. See these daughters are cute. Hi.
Hi. This is my son.
That's your son?
That's my son.
I'm sorry. I'm not. You know what? I should know that. My son has long hair too.
The long hair.
It's the long hair.
Tell Chrissy about getting a haircut. What do you think?
No, you don't want a haircut. No haircut. You sound like my voice. You want a haircut? Like even do Johnny Test or Johnny Bravo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you're adorable. I just want to pinch your cheeks. I'm talking to a little kid. That's what you walked into, younger than your butt.
Oh, Chrissy, what does Molly always say about your cheeks? What am I gonna do to your cheeks?
Eat them. I believe that. They're so cute. I just want to pinch them. Go ahead, iPhone. Okay. Bye. I know you can't see me, but bye.
You.
You're welcome. Bye. See you later.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just had a question. That I had a recent sale and it went really well. It got 5 stars. However, this buyer then gives me her phone number.
I wonder if it's the one that I know. See, you guys, I deal with all kinds of weirdos. It's probably the same one I know.
Well, no, I didn't respond, but I don't know, maybe I'm being too cautious, or I don't know if that was a thing or not.
I can say for me personally, and I've known Renee over a year, and Renee has no idea what my phone number is. And it's not that was one of mine and my husband's agreements for me doing this, was that nobody would have a phone. So we decided that we're going to get like a business number, and that's what everybody can have. The reason why they give you their number is probably because they clicked with you in a way that you didn't realize that they clicked with, and they want to talk to you, and they feel connected, you have those people on here that are like, oh, we're connected mates, or oh, I just feel your aura, or there's all kinds of walks of life. So you have to decide, like I would just say to her or him or the individual, just, hey, you know what? I don't give out my number. Thanks. If you want to talk, we could maybe do like a Zoom or something. But yeah, I don't call anybody. I don't give out my number. It's nothing against you. I just don't do it to anybody. And that's how I would do it, which I've had people do that to me too. And I put it this way, I had one person like literally give me their number, and then I want to say it was like 2 weeks later, you'd have to ask Renee because I put it in the Discord. It tripped me out so bad. She just all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and goes, oh, I just remembered my dad died today. And I was like, okay, like I hadn't talked, like it wasn't like I was carrying on a normal conversation. And I was like, what the heck do I say to this person? Like I was thrown off. I asked Renee, I asked everybody, I'm like, what would you guys do in this situation? Because I was thrown. I was like, I'm not selling you anything. I haven't sold you anything in a while. And you just out of nowhere come and go, oh, I forgot my dad died. And I'm like, this is super weird. So, pick, if you want to keep them as a contact, then say something, just be like, hey, I don't give out my number. Thank you anyways. Nothing against you, but I just don't do it to anybody. That's how you can do it. Go ahead, Sal.
So the other thing is my mom is a private investigator, and she can find out a lot of information when somebody gives her their phone number. Like she can find their address and all of that. And, yes, it's great to be connected with people, but you also have to be very careful.
Yeah, so see, I didn't even know that. See, Renee, that's why I don't give out my number. No, just kidding.
Oh my God, you act like I don't already have your address. I can show up at your house.
I'm sure you have ordered from me. As far as you know, that's my address. Okay, Audrey, go ahead.
I think Poshmark, they recommend that you do not go off of Poshmark anyway. With getting in touch with other people outside of Poshmark.
You're cringe.
I mean,
Like
I'll be
you're
honest.
sweating.
I know sellers who like talk to their buyers like on the phone.
Mhm.
I do know people that do that. Like Lori wrote, like sometimes people are just lonely, and but yeah, I think you have to do what's in your comfort level. If you're not comfortable with that, then I wouldn't do it. Like with me, I don't know. I have my PFF's numbers besides Chrissy, and we talk, and I don't really remember how that even happened. But I think it's, you have to do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so don't do that. Yeah, do what you feel comfortable. If you don't want to answer her back, iPhone, you can always block her. I mean, that's where the button comes in. I say use it sparingly, because you don't want to just go block every single person out there that, kind of rubs you the wrong way, because then you won't have any sellers or any buyers, you'll be lonely. But,
Right.
Pick who you want. If it gives you that kind of like, I wouldn't even mess with, like, I would just be like, block, done, but if you're like,
The overall trip went well, and I think she was just really she had a good experience, was because I was very communicative. And I think just, I don't know, for some reason, she put out her phone number there, and was not expecting that at all. I had never had anyone do that. But I just think that she was at a comfort level. It doesn't freak me out so much that, I would, block the individual. I just be mindful regarding not sharing phone numbers, because I think that's sound advice.
Yeah, I would definitely not. Like, that's just, like I said, I've known Renee for over a year, almost. Yeah, it's been almost a year now, over a year now. And she still does not have, my number. And I talk to her daily on Discord, so I mean, I've known Audrey almost a year too. So, I mean, there's people that I've known for a year or longer and they don't. So that's my comfort zone though. If I really wanted to, I'd be like I can get you anyone, and if you do want to too, but you got to remember, like Savannah said, if there's if you can look at it anyway, they could probably look at, even if you got a secondary phone number and ran that secondary phone number through your first phone number, they could probably, a private eye, if they really wanted to dig, they could dig. I mean, and that's the truth. If anybody really, really wants to know anything about you, they'll find it if they really want to. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah, my mom's a private investigator, and when she meets she's also single, and when she meets a guy and they give her number, she looks him up before she goes, commits to going on a date.
Hey, Renee.
I totally get it. I mean, you just never know. But like when I was first selling back in 2017 on Poshmark, if I connected, or I felt a connection with a buyer, I would write in the little thank you note my phone number. And a couple times I had connections with people, and they would, they'd send me a text or whatever, and we'd have a conversation, and most people are good people. That's kind of that's what my personal feeling is, but there are creeps out there, so you just have to be careful. Now I don't give my number out unless like I really feel like I know that person. I do have PFFs, and I have their number, and we'll like mail each other surprise little gift packages, and we'll text each other and offer prayer support and stuff like that. So
that's super cool.
Lives,
yeah, it's awesome.
The lives have definitely brought out some creepies there.
Yes, they have. And you know what? I'm just going to be honest. I hate everybody until I get to know them. That's all it is. I don't care what you are. I just hate everybody.
That's what my husband says.
Renee's looking at me like I'm crazy. No, I don't care. I don't care what you are. I just hate you until I get to know you, and then we're cool.
Well, ahead, it doesn't matter. She's got a cooler mustache than everybody else right now.
She does. She does. Oh my goodness. Speaking of that, Star, I'm sorry, I just called on you, but I gotta tell this story. When you guys knew about the Heart and Hustle, right? Like there was like, if you guys have been on Poshmark for a minute, they had a Heart and Hustle where you could win. And we were doing, because it used to be where Renee would do one Saturday, she would do a Posh and Sip on Saturday. And we were playing with the background features like she's doing now. She's always done that. Well, she got me to do, so in her shows, I do it to her. So I changed I had like I had a teal mustache, and I had eyeshadow. Oh, Audrey, do you remember that? And it stuck on my screen, and I couldn't get rid of it. And we go into a Poshmark Hot and Hustle. So like all the bigwigs are in this meeting, and we're sitting there, and I had to ask a question, and I could not get rid of it. And she's cracking up laughing, and everybody's just laughing. And I'm just like, I go, I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to get rid of this. And they're like, oh my God. And my eyebrows would move as I talked. And it was just so, I was like, oh my God. It was so bad. And Renee's like, I can't believe I could not figure it out. It would not go. Like it stayed on purpose. I was like, oh, yep, they're never going to forget me.
I am not a cat.
Go ahead, Star.
I was gonna add to that, like I'm not a private investigator, but I used to work at a law firm for construction defect. And all I need is your first, last name, and city. And if you own property, I can find where you live. So for myself, I have a PO box, which is in my city. And then my Poshmark name on my labels is Star and Wolf, which is what we call like my bath bomb / handmade stuff. So unless you know for a fact what my first name is, or I bought from you, because if I buy from you, it has my first name. You can't go from my label and try to find me. So, and I do that as like an extra layer. So if someone were to like send me their phone number, I would probably ghost them because that would freak me out beyond my already paranoid self. But that's just like an extra layer. So just so you know, most states, if somebody has your first and last name and you own property, they can look up where you live or previous property you have owned and then find you from there. California has a lot of rules around that, so it's harder for in the state of California. But just so you know that it is a simple Google search and an assessor's website to find like where people live. So if you're not into that and you're paranoid like me, use that extra layer of not your closet name instead of your real name and a PO box.
I like that. That's a good idea. I used a PO box for a minute and then we stopped. I'm not gonna lie, we did. I recommend that because you can get a PO box anywhere, and there's even like ones where you guys can get into like a different state, and it'll go to that different state, and like the address will be that different state. Bye. And then it'll actually go to your house, like, or your PO box. So it'll like be like a forwarding system. See, now you got Gia doing the same thing, Renee. Now you got a partner in crime again.
Oh, that one's so cute. I like the bear. That was cute.
Did anybody have any more questions, comments, concerns? Go ahead, Crystal.
No, this is just a thing that I now realize is that I would need my glasses on to do a show because when I take them off, I cannot see anything. And I didn't think I would be wearing my glasses during the show, but I know that I have to. And I think it's really, really amazing that people read their comments and do all the other things and have to keep up with the comments. So I don't have access yet, but I'm thinking about those things.
So if
I
you
hope,
I was gonna say, if you don't have a problem with it, what you could do is like if you hate your glasses and you can touch your eyeballs, get some contacts just for your show. And then guess what? They're a business right off because now you're using them for business. So I mean, that's a thought. So
Okay.
you could do that. And then that way you have like I specifically put contacts in every single time. And that's all I use them for is just for my shows because I hate my glasses.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, I'm like you, I can't see. So I put in contacts every single time.
Yeah.
Also, the more you do it, the easier the chat gets, honestly. Like at first I was, like I said, I was like, what's going on in my PFS? We're having to like repeat stuff that people were saying and asking for and stuff. But now when I do it, like, it's fine. Like it's fine. Unless you have like 150 people in your show and your chat's just going crazy, it's slowed down. It's not going to be as much as you think.
Okay, great.
Thank you. I try and keep up with the comments. The comments are hard. There's times where they'll start going and they'll start rolling really, really fast. And I talked to Johanna and asked her to, which on, yes, I'm going back to that. On Whatnot, it'll actually make if someone makes a question, it'll be in color so you can see it. And I told Johanna we need that in the Poshmark because if someone's asking you a question, it'll like brighten up so you can see that there's a question instead of it just constantly rolling because they already moved which I kind of am iffy on the whole just join. I like it up in that corner because then it does go slower, but I feel like people don't realize that it's up in that corner and then they come in and if you don't say hi to them, they kind of like bounce out because they're like, oh, well, this person doesn't care that I'm in there. So it's kind of got its good and its bad. So you kind of have to watch the comments and then you kind of have to watch the coming in people so you can say hello to them because some people are, and I don't think they realize that it's in two separate spots. So it's not like you're ignoring them. You just don't see them come in. So it's kind of, but a lot of people were complaining about that just joined in. which I thought it was okay right there because you could say hi to everybody. I liked that. I liked being able to say, hey, Crystal's on my show. What's up, Crystal? How's it going? You know, we're up on top. I'm not looking up there because I'm too busy looking at the comments or what item I'm running or whatever to like look in 5 billion different places.
Right.
So does anybody have anything else? This one's a lot. We've gone a long time today.
Yeah.
We went long time last time too, and Renee yelled at me. If you guys watch the YouTube video, I literally have her yelling at me because CB put it up. Oh yeah, you're on there, darling. And it shows her saying, your sip is over now. Because I don't edit.
You were supposed to be on my show.
I know, I don't edit anything. I leave it the way it is. So even when I do stuff and it's there, it goes up exactly like that. So it was super funny because we were trying to get Stephanie's attention at the beginning and she completely ignored us. And then you yell at the end to get off. So it was like this perfect storm of like YouTube video that was an hour and 30 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. Do you guys have anything else? Any other comments? Oh, go ahead, Crystal.
No, so I'm trying to remember everything because I pick up stuff at everybody's show. One person said, when you have your call scheduled, and so if you don't join it right away, I think it's like an hour, and I'm not really sure about the time, but just be careful of how long. And I don't know, I think she may have gone up over like an hour and a half or 2 hours because she had another show. So if you are going to be late to your show, make sure you don't wait too long because then it disappears. And if you've listed everything, you have to redo everything.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that because I've literally gone 30 minutes, if not longer, and I haven't lost the show. So I didn't know that it goes away.
Yeah, I think in, like I said, her show she might have been joining like an hour and a half later because she was in one show. She does well, now she just does one show, but she was doing different shows. And so we carried on too long. And then she joined, it was a late night show, and she joined, and it might have been an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I don't know if a lot of people do that, but just something that happened.
I think the only time I've ever like kind of done a back-to-back kind of show like that was on Thanksgiving, and I was literally ending them and restarting them. I didn't like that. Like that was like, oh, that I felt like that was a lot more work. I was like, eh.
Yeah, she does it differently now and just does it long show. And some people have really long shows because this is their, they don't have another job and this is their full-time job. So some of them do really long shows, and she was doing different shows, but now she just does like a long show.
5-star. Go ahead, Audrey.
Question,
oh, Stacey, were you next?
Chrissy, have you researched to see what is the best time to have a show?
I have. I've played with my shows. There's it's so what I found is now you've got tons more people. So I like the mornings, and this is why I like the mornings. Everybody, it's going to be your in the evenings, it's really, really saturated. If you've noticed, like in the evenings, it's really, really saturated. So you're going to have less people in the evenings. Friday and Saturday, forget about it. There are so many shows. Like if you do a Friday, I'm not saying don't do it. If you do a Friday and Saturday show, be prepared to only have a couple people in your show, because there is like, I think at one time, I think it was CB that was telling me at one time in 1 hour, she counted over 80 shows going on in 1 hour, which is insane. And that was on like a Friday or Saturday. When I counted, because my husband asked me, he goes, how long do the shows run for now? And I said, they're going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now, period, end of discussion. And he goes, seriously? I said, yeah, here's an example. One was starting at 11:30 at night, and another one was starting at 1 a.m. I said, okay, so maybe there's not a show that's starting at 11:59, but I said that 11:30 show is definitely going to go into 1 for sure. So, and then I go, and then after that, at 7 o'clock in the morning, there was only starting at 7. This was just starting at 7 o'clock and going until 7. I think the next show was scheduled for 7:15. there was 7 shows scheduled at 7 o'clock in the morning. I like the mornings also because if you think about it, people are getting ready to go to work. They might be buying. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of my little like, and I know everybody's gonna end up doing it, but fine, whatever. If you think about it, people have more money in the mornings than they do when they get home at night. Because at night, they've already done, they have, they've got done with work. What do? They go grocery shopping, they go shopping, they go do everything that they need to. Where in the mornings, especially if you do one like Friday morning, they're getting ready for work, they just got their paycheck in, they haven't spent their money yet. You're like, yeah, Thursday morning, same type of thing, if they get their deposits a day early. So you kind of got to play with all of that. Like, I like being when people get paid. That's the truth, because you're more likely going to spend money when you have money. If you don't have money, you're not going to spend it. That's just common sense. Afternoons are good too, like especially if you do it at like lunchtime, because people are on lunch at work. They haven't spent their money yet. They haven't gone grocery shopping. They haven't gotten that extra stuff. So they're more likely to be able to spend with you. There's not as many shows, I would say, and you guys can check the times, but there's not as many shows at night after like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And this is obviously Pacific Standard Time, because obviously you gotta go by Pacific Standard Time, because if you go by Eastern, you guys still have the Pacific Standard Time that are 3 hours behind you guys. So it's like almost 2, 3 o'clock your time that there's not as many people on. 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is where people start going to sleep. They start, they're like, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm talking about buyers, but the sellers. The sellers have had all day. So they're like, okay, I'm done. I got to go to work. I got to go do this. So basically from 10 o'clock at night all the way until about almost 1:30, 2 o'clock are all like the best times, because after that, then you're competing with all the bay closets, and you're competing with the 80 shows. You're competing with the 60 shows. Was in a show that went from 8 to 2 in the morning that was super fun. It was a Yours and Mine show, and then Night Owls came out. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. You have to like play with your times, write it down. Audrey, keep track. Take like a thing, go, okay, you know what? Today I'm going to start, it's Wednesday. I'm going to start at 8 o'clock. Okay, how many people was my top peak? And then look at what time it was. So let's say you had 30 people but you were on for 2 hours. Okay, well, when was your top peak? Was it at that end of the 2 hours, or was it an hour and 30 minutes in? So that's kind of how I adjust it. And that's why I've decided, if you guys noticed before, I was in the evenings and then I went to the daytime. So that's why I started playing with it. I am not going to compete with, this is just me. I'm not going to compete with 86 shows. I'm not going to do it, because I know I'll get 2 or 3 people in. Love those night shows, but the pushies out. Yes. That is so true. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? You guys want me to turn off the recording and we'll just blab?
Okay, what's pushies?
Lori.
Pushies.
Oh, it's when the people who come in and they say, "Well, run my clothes now," and then they leave the show if you don't run their clothes right then.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So see, everybody makes up all these different words. No, just kidding. So hard to keep up. No.
Can I butt in for 2 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead, Stacey.
Katie Mack has a show starting in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Who is?
Katie Mack. She's from Discord.
CAITY
__
MAC.
Yeah.
It's her first solo show.
Yeah.
You said,
can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat, please. And I'll go over there if you guys want.
Oh, yes.
I love helping new people. Like, that's my favorite shows to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have anything? Why can't I not find her?
Chrissy and Renee, since I started working back part-time, they begged me to come back, you know. I've been so like, oh my gosh, just out of it. I haven't been able to join the shows like I wanted to. Forgetting, even when I have loved the show and for the reminder, I forget the reminder.
I would be losing it. Like, there's no way I'm going back. I'm telling you guys right now, like, I would probably lose my mind if I had to go work at a 9-to-5 job. I'd be like, there is no way this is happening. Like,
Well, the good
at
thing
all.
is I go in when I get ready.
Yeah.
Which
See,
is, sometimes I go in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I would need that job. That's the job I would need if I like had to go back to work. I'd be like, and then I'd have to work. You know what? No, I would have to work for somebody. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't have a boss again. There's no way. I would lose my mind. My husband tries to be my boss sometimes, and I'm like, you're insane, dude. Like, seriously. And see, now I'm talking crap because he's not in the house. And he won't watch this either, so. Just kidding. Okay, did you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything else you want to say? Oh, go ahead, Crystal.
I just wanted to say, thank you for doing this, and it was nice meeting everyone. I really enjoyed this.
Nice to meet you too. We'll do it again next Friday, you guys, same time.
Crystal, what's your closet name?
Yes, Crystal.
Crystal Moving.
Crystal Moving?
Yes.
All
You know,
right.
keep forgetting that we're not actually on Poshmark. Yeah. Crystal Moving.
Okay, I want to follow you.
Okay.
Crystal.
I will do it again next Friday. And then if you guys like have a topic you guys really want to talk about, we'll do it. I kind of said I'm not gonna like, I have ideas. We can do whatever you guys want to though. Like this one was one because I know Stacy got her access, Mary had gotten her access, a couple people had gotten their access without ever being able to, like, they didn't message them. So that's why everybody had asked me to do this type of show, or Posh and Sip, whatever you want to call it, whatever this thing is. So if you guys have any ideas, if you guys are like, hey, I really, really want help with this, let me know and we can totally do that one. If you guys just want to, you know, ask tons, like an open forum question one, we can do that.
11, wow. Hi, Renee. Oh my gosh, everybody rolling in. Hi.
Oh, is she starting? I heard hi, Renee, which I know is CD.
Mallory.
So I'm
Okay,
gonna,
so
I'll go on my phone and try to get in.
I'm Caitlin and Katie.
You said Katie Mack?
Went live with Anna 2 times in New Jersey because that's where I grew up, but I live in Florida in Gainesville because I'm at school at UF, and I've recruited 2 of my friends to help me. So come say hey. This is Kayla. This is Mallory. So they might